Today we will be discussing the order Coleoptera. The order Coleoptera is the largest insect order that includes over 390,000 described species and includes all beetles. The name Coleoptera gets its name from the Latin word coleo, which means hard, and the Latin word ptera, which means wings. The primary reason the order Coleoptera are called hardwings is because of their hard outer wings, known as elytra, that protect their fragile underwings. The beetles that make up the order Coleoptera go through a complete metamorphosis in their life cycles. Beetles can be found living in pretty much any habitat, terrestrial or freshwater. Today I will be going through different beetles that have become pests to humans because of the way they compete with our resources, beetles that are beneficial to humans, and some beetles so unique that they make the order Coleoptera one of the most unique and diverse insect orders. The first types of beetles in the order Coleoptera I'll be discussing are pests that compete with our resources. The first example of a beetle that is a great pest to humans is the carpet beetle. Carpet beetles belong to the family of beetles known as dermestids. Carpet beetles are pests in homes, warehouses, museums, and anywhere else where suitable food exists. Carpet beetles cause serious damage to fabrics, carpets, and stored foods. Damage occurs during the larval stage of carpet beetles when they feed in the dark and eat any products made from animals. The next type of beetle that is considered a pest is the root beetle. The Palo Verde root borer beetle is an insect native to northern Mexico and the African Southwest, which gets its name from the Palo Verde tree. These beetles are harmless to humans except for the fact that they can bite if they are forced to defend themselves. These beetles hatch from eggs into grubs and can live underground for up to 3 years. During their larval phase, these beetles can cause significant mechanical damage to the roots of trees. Because it is hard to identify an infestation because it is underground, it may not be found out that the tree is infested until the death of the tree is visible. A third example of a beetle that is a pest is the fig-eater beetle. Fig-eater beetles are part of a group of beetles which are commonly called flower chafers because many of them feed on nectar, pollen, or petals. These beetles live primarily in the southwestern United States and Mexico and are often mistaken as June beetles or Japanese beetles, which can be found in the eastern United States. These beetles are not considered as much of an important pest as their cousins because they do not damage lawns and trees as much as the other ones. These beetles eat fruit, but are particularly attracted to eating ripened or fermenting fruits because of the skin of the fruit is softer and easier to eat. The adult beetles are minor pests to gardens, but they have been known to swarm and eat an entire garden grape or fig crowd. Now we'll be talking about beetles that are beneficial to humans. The first beetle that is beneficial to humans is the soldier beetle. Soldier beetles, also sometimes referred to as leatherwing beetles, are often found among flowers and in vegetation. The eggs of this beetle are laid in soil, and the larvae spend up to a year eating eggs and the larvae of other insects. These beetles are key predators of grasshopper eggs, which make them beneficial to humans in the sense that they can be a huge help in controlling grasshopper populations. They also feed on the eggs and larvae of other insects such as moths and adult aphids and other soft-bodied insects, but primarily flower, nectar, and pollen eaters. If someone is interested in attracting these beetles for their own benefit, they may put out a goldenrod plant or a single-flowered marigold to call them in. Another beetle that is beneficial to humans is the devil's coach horse beetle, sometimes known as the cocktail beetle. It is a predator that hunts at night on invertebrates such as snails and worms with its strong pincer-like jaws. When disturbed or when it is hunting, the beetle opens its jaws and raises its long, uncovered abdomen, sort of like a scorpion, which is where it gets its other name, the cocktail beetle. This beetle has been associated with the devil since the Middle Ages, which is where its common name comes from. There is some British folklore that claims that the beetle has eaten the core of Eve's apple, and that a person who kills one of these insects is forgiven 7 sins. This may be a bad idea if you are a gardener, though. These beetles have proven helpful in eliminating some pest insects, such as snails or slugs, so it could be worth having these guys around. Finally, I'll be talking about a few beetles that are so unique that they make Coleoptera one of the most diverse insect orders there is. The first incredible beetle is the dung beetle. Dung beetles are beetles that feed on dung to some degree. These beetles can bury dung that is 250 times heavier than themselves in just one night. There are 3 different categories these beetles can be placed in reference to what they can do with the dung they've collected. First is the rollers. They roll dung into round balls, which they can use as a chamber for breeding and as a source of food. The tunnelers tend to bury the dung wherever they find it. The third group is the dwellers, who simply live in manure. Dung beetles are currently the only non-human animal to navigate themselves using the Milky Way. The ancient Egyptians considered certain species of dung beetles as sacred, as evidenced in many excavations of artifacts and in literature. Finally, there is the rhinoceros beetle, or known as Dynastinae. The rhinoceros beetle are among the largest beetles and are a subfamily of the scrab beetle family. The name rhinoceros beetle comes from the fact that the males of this species possess a horn on their head as well as one on their thorax. These beetles are almost completely harmless to humans because of their inability to bite or sting. This beetle can fly, but quite ineffectively, due to its large size. In some parts of Asia, this beetle is commonly kept as a pet because it is generally clean, easy to maintain, and harmless to humans. Also, in some parts of Asia, these insects are used in gambling matches. 2 males are set up against each other, and a female beetle mating call is mimicked to initiate fighting between the 2 males. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of the different types of beetles found in the vast order of Coleoptera.